You always constantly have to be doing things differently and accept that the only constant is change. So there's always new things you got to be doing, experimenting new things, and just accepting the fact that you always have to do things differently.
You just told me in the green room before we started how long it took you to get those 4 awards, how long it took you to earn $1 million in each of those law firms. Can you take us through how long did it take for the first one, then the second one, the third, and the fourth?
Sure. So for my first one, it was for my first law firm. That's where I was kind of in the trenches of doing everything myself. I basically had to take on all the calls, answer all the emails, do all the filings, do the marketing, asking for reviews, and essentially everything in between as well. And through those, going through the trenches, I literally had to learn every aspect of the operations of the law firm. And then once worked hard, it took me 5 years to basically be able to generate $1 million for that first law firm. Then at that point, I'm like, hey, this is actually, there's some components in here that are very repeatable. It's the same kind of system to be able to bring in the clients, add them to a CRM, automatically follow up with them, sign them up, serve them, and do the marketing as well. So I basically went and duplicated that, literally same exact system. And that one became my second one. That one took me 3 years. Then at that point, it was kind of like a proof of concept. Let me go do this and let me go share this to other lawyers. So I was able to also earn a TwoCommaClub award for that. That one took me about 1.5 years. And then recently, I was able to grow my third law firm to multi-million dollars within 10 months, within less than a year. And the reason why I shared this, not to show off, but to really show that it's rinse and repeatable. It's something that could definitely be learned, to be something that could be applied. And everything that I share, I don't just share things that need to be done. I call it, it's experiential learning. First, I learn how to do it myself. I go through the motions. And from that process, I learn exactly what are the practical ways that you need to do to be able to take it. And I share exactly how to do that as well, either with sharing specific templates or systems or things that I could easily, these days you can literally copy and paste things or share access with and be able to quickly implement that into your own law firm. And what's really cool about it, Moshe, what I'm even more proud of, is now our first legal funnel member has been able to earn his own TwoCommaClub award. For 10 years, he was stuck, making 100K a year range. And by joining, he was able to do $1 million within 12 months of joining the program. It's really eye-opening. And I know that we have a bunch more on the way. These things do take some time, but once you figure it out, then it really opens up your eyes and you're able to kind of do it quicker and in a more repeated fashion.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's actually, when I started to take a breath to like I was going to speak and you jumped into that, I was going to highlight the fact that I saw on social that you had one of your clients come and join you at Funnel Hacking Live, which is their conference where they give out this award to give him that award. So I think that it speaks volumes, not just the fact that you were able to repeat the process, make it happen in a shorter time frame, but then also have a client take the same process and implement it in their firm. So I want to dive into the process itself. Like, what are the key ingredients that allow you to delegate to get to that level? But also, what do you attribute the changes from each one where you were able to shorten the time frame from one to the next? And we don't have to answer all that in one breath, but that's where I want to go with this conversation, is to try to help people understand that. And real quick, I'm just going to shameless plug for your book. The name of the book is Virtual Law Firm Secrets Book. It's available on Amazon. We're going to link it up in our show notes, but I'm assuming that you cover a lot of this in the book as far as what's involved in the process as well, correct?
Sure. Yeah. A lot of that. We'll get to the automation, but I want to try to give as much value as I could in the shortest amount of time. So one thing that I think everybody needs is more clients. So let's talk about that. If you want to scale quickly, I'm going to give you pretty much five steps in order to do that. One is your mindset shift. First, you really have to accept that there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of things. So there's plenty of clients for you to get. If you haven't, got to that point to get enough clients, maybe you just haven't gotten there yet. So accept the challenge, but just accept that there's hundreds of thousands of clients ready to go for you. Second is, most people try to do a little bit of a lot of things. They try to do a little bit of Facebook. They try to do a little bit of Instagram. They also hear about, I got YouTube. Oh, there's also TikTok. I heard these kids are doing well on TikTok. That does not work. Again, based on experiential things that I've learned. Instead, simplify your life. Focus on one client source, your top client source. And I know this because right now I have some law firms that have 7 sources of clients, but usually those, if I analyze it, usually most of the clients come from the top source. Okay, so simplify yourself and always ask yourself, what is the best top source for me? For every practice type, there's always one answer, and I'm actually sitting on that knowledge. That's what I try to share with our Legal Funnel members. It's not just based on what's working, which is very important, what's working now, but it's also based on you. And depending on where you are with your law firm, how much time or money you have, I kind of help you kind of decipher which one you should focus on. But whatever it is, just make sure that you're focusing on one. Third thing is the sources. So there's 2 categories of sources. There's organic and there's paid. Organic is like creating content, creating value for the market. But when I analyze where I'm getting most of my clients, I realize most of my clients, 98% of my clients are coming from paid sources. These are sources like Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, core ads, all these different paid ad sources. I became an expert in those paid ad sources to rely on those sources to get me clients. And that really, I think, is the epiphany in the last 6 months I've been trying to share out there. Everybody needs to be, do paid ads because that's what works. Again, each paid ad source has its own language, its own methods to be able to do it, and whatever I could pass on to our people that join Legal Funnel and try to share that. But just know you need one paid ad source. And then the fourth thing I've noticed is a lot of people stay stagnant where they are. They're doing the same exact thing that they were doing 6 months ago, or a year ago. You always constantly have to be doing things differently and accept that the only constant is change. So there's always new things you got to be doing, experimenting new things, and just accepting the fact that you always have to do things differently. And then the last thing is, a lot of people, again, I mentioned, stay stagnant. They stay stagnant because they always have the same budget, or they're doing either money that they spend or the team that they have to be able to send up those clients. So what I do every single month is I analyze what's going on, what's my cost, how many leads am I getting, what's my cost per lead, what's my cost per acquisition, what's the value, what's the ROI. I have certainty with my numbers, and I'm always looking for any excuse to spend more. My budget is always ask myself, should I double down on its budget or should I stop doing this? And when I ask myself such an aggressive question, it forces me to always want to spend more. So now these days, I'm not joking. I'm looking for any excuse to spend as much money as I could, because I know ultimately if I spend more, I'm usually making more. So just to recap, accept that there's plenty of clients out there. So let go of this scarcity mindset. That's like, I don't know how to get clients. It's hard to get clients. Let go of that. No, it's easy to get clients. There's plenty of them. So let's just go get it. Second is focus on one source. Stop trying to do everything. Third is learn or go partner up with somebody who knows how to do paid ads, or join a program who can help you with that. Fourth is accept that the only constant is change. That means you got to do the things differently and go against the gradient. If everybody's doing this, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Maybe you should be doing something else. And number 5, the easiest way to scale is just to increase your budget.
These are awesome, and there's so much to go into with each one, but I want to pick on a couple of specifics. So you said go with your top source. Now, what if your top source is not scalable? Like, what if the best way that I brought in clients up until now has been referrals, but I don't see how I can continue to grow my referral base exponentially. What do I do with that?
Scalable is a requirement in order for you to have a sustainable long-term business with the least amount of stress. Could you have a business that could make you money? Yes, but that comes with a lot of stress if it's not scalable. You always want to have something that could grow into more, because there's always fluctuations with these sources. Let's just talk about referrals. You could have an amazing good month, right, Moshe? Amazing good month, a bunch of people refer you a bunch of stuff, but the next month is a complete quiet. So take actions that are scalable. That means it has room to grow. So usually that leads to basically paid ads is usually kind of scalable. And that's what I kind of love about it, because I'm always able to grow into it versus I'm capped by what the market is giving me.
Right. So it's not just scalability, but it's also predictability, right? I want to make sure that I can scale, and I can predict based on the amount of money that I'm spending that I'm going to get this return from it. When you say that you need to be willing to accept change, and change is part of as part of the game, can you give me some examples of change that you or your clients had to undergo in order to accept the next level of success?
For sure. And I think the best way to kind of figure out what the change is to know what's going on. I mean, know exactly with clarity what the market is doing, and the people that are doing the best, exactly what they're doing, and I stay on top of that. What I do is for all my law firms and everything that I do, I have a long list of all my top direct competitors. I know everybody and I know everything that they're doing, and I know it to the T, and I study it and I obsess over it. And I know when somebody changes something, and if other people follow, I know what's happening. And it's that obsession with what the market and what your competitors are doing that really leads you to the conclusions of what decisions you should make. So based on that, if I see things or if I learn things right away, I'm experimental and experiment things. It's kind of like a small budget, see how that does. If I see that's positive, then that's when I go apply it across our different law firms and things. So basically, it's like know your competitors and make sure to be experimental.
Lawyer Nation, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, take a moment right now to subscribe right below and turn on the bell notification to get notified every time I post a video, because right now I'm posting 5 videos a week, providing lots of value to lawyers. So click right here to subscribe, and to watch the next most relevant video, click right here. Go do it. Go watch it.